Jo, and welcome to the Leggy Bunny tutorial. Okay, so real quick, let's just check it out, look at it. This is the Leggy Bunny. The pattern is already up on Etsy, and I will have that link down below in case you're interested in the written pattern. But this is what he looks like. It's kind of like a ragdoll almost, right? So this is a no-sew pattern. It's made all in one piece. Well, you make the ears and then you put them together. You crochet them together and then make the whole rest of the body. Even the tail is in the pattern. Yeah, so if you choose to use safety eyes and a nose, go right ahead and do that. If you would like to use my eye pattern, that is also here on YouTube and the written pattern in Etsy. These eyes, I tell you in the pattern that, see, these are kind of maybe a little too big for this one because the head's a little narrow, right? So I made these eyes with get a sport or a DK weight yarn and use like a 3mm or 3.25mm hook, and then you get your smaller eyes. Wait, I did two smaller eyes, didn't I? Where's that other wabbit at? Wascally wabbit right there. So those are these are made with the smaller eye, well, the same eye pattern, but with a smaller hook, smaller yarn, right? These actually are the bigger eyes, and I put them on this bunny because this was my biggest bunny. This is the Lion Brand Dreamland cover story. It's a new yarn that came out, which I think is absolutely adorable. It's very soft look. It almost looks like watercolors to me. It's very pretty yarn. I do not recommend making amigurumis with this yarn unless you know the pattern. I basically just had to do this by memorization and feel, because you can't see your stitches with this yarn, but it's so cute. If you make a few of them, then try it, and then you'll probably be able to do it. You know what I'm talking about, my crocheter peoples. So these have embroidered nose, and I will show you how to do the nose at the end also. But you can always use your safety eyes and a nose too if you don't want to. Like this has safety eyes and an embroidered nose. Let's go over just real quick. Where's my ruler? Here it is. The size of these. This is Bernat Blanket Baby Sparkle. I think that's what this is. Can't see the sparkle, can you? Barely. So this one measures about 11 inches from the top of the ear to the end of the body. That's about 11 inches with a 7mm hook. Now this one with the Lion Brand blanket yarn, the cover story, it's a good 12-inch rabbit from the top of the ear to the bottom of the body. So it's about 1 inch bigger. And that's why I decided to try the bigger eyes with it. I think these were made with a Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn with a 4mm hook. So that gives you about a 1 inch eye, maybe 3/4 inch eye, 3/4 to 1 inch eye. So, and then these were made with, loops and threads. Michael's Loops and Threads, Chenille Home Slim. So that's, I think it's about a 10-inch rabbit. So that gives you about a 10-inch. Now this is made with the Big Twist Posh, which is kind of a new blanket yarn out there. It's a smaller blanket yarn. It's a size 5, and I made it with a 5mm hook. And this measures about 7.5 inches. About 7.5 inch little bunny here. And then this one was made with just your regular acrylic worsted weight, size 4 yarn with a 4mm hook. And this little cutie is about 5 inches from top to bottom. So I put little safety eyes on him, and I did the little nose with the T, and there's a little tail that's in the back. So there you go. Just to give y'all an idea what size yarn you use, what size hook you use. All these were done with a 7mm, and this one with a 5mm, and this one with a 4mm. So if you find like this yarn, I probably could have used a 6mm. The stitches are a little loosey-goosey, but not so loose that you're seeing the stuffing. So could have used a 6mm if you like your stitches nice and tight. It's lightly stuffed it, so I didn't like pack it in there. So yeah. Okay. So let's get started, and I will see you at the end. Okay, here are the materials that you will need to make the Leggy bunny. As far as yarn goes, pick whatever type of blanket yarn you like to use. This is like the thicker Bernat blanket, and I like to use a 7mm hook with that. And this is a size 5 blanket yarn from Big Twist, and I use a 5mm with this. I think you can also use a 6mm. And then there's also blanket yarn that's kind of like in between these two. So I've used this type of chenille yarn from Michael's Loops and Threads, and I think you could probably use a 6mm with this, but I've also used a 7mm, and I've also used the 8mm with a thicker one. So do what's comfortable for you and what gives you the best result. Okay, but we'll also need a small amount, like 12 inches of some scrap black yarn. This is worsted weight. You can also use blanket yarn or thinner yarn and double it up. Same if you want to put little cheeks, blush cheeks, some pink yarn for that. Very 12 inches, just to pass it through and bring it back around to knot it and tie it off, weave it in. And you can use the blanket yarn again, or you can use a worsted or any type. And if it's not thick enough for you, make a few passes or either double it as you're working with it. We'll need a darning needle. I love these to work with thicker blanket yarns with these plastic eyes on the end. Stitch marker, scissors, and some safety eyes, unless you are going to embroider or make your own crochet eyes to sew on. And I believe that's it. Oh, and some polyfill, of course. Okay, we're going to start off with our magic ring. I'm going to put 4 single crochets in that magic ring. We're making our ears first. We're going to make 2 of them, and they are not to be stuffed. I guess they could be stuffed. I wouldn't stuff them, not if you use blanket yarn for sure. And the first one we make, we're going to leave a long tail on it, and we're going to use that long tail to close up the hole that happens when you put the 2 ears together. And then, and also this they're made in continuous rounds, so there's no slip stitch and then start, it's a continuous round. Okay, did I make 4 there? Yes. Okay, so I have 4 single crochets. That's round 1. And then we're going to make 4 single crochets in round 2 also. So I'm going to start our first one there. And we need to place our stitch marker because this is going to be a little tedious here at first. But we can work through it just fine. So that's 1. 2, 3, and get our last stitch there, 4. Now we need to pop this puppy to the right side now to keep working on it. So we're going to turn it, not inside out, but because it was already inside out, so we're going to turn it to the right side. Okay, I think that's good. Grab that little tail and hold on, squeeze this and give it a little tug. Make sure that initial ring is closed up good. And now round 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet and an increase 2 times. So that'll be for a total of 6 stitches for round 3. Oopsie. Go into that first one right there. I'm going to do 1 single crochet. And I think I'm going to switch to this stitch marker so I don't have to keep worrying about locking it. And then this is an increase. So we'll put 2 singles in that stitch. Our next stitch is 1 single crochet because now we're going to repeat it. Get that little tail out my way and let me see if I can grab this whole stitch. There we go. 1 single crochet and 2 for our increase here in the last one. And that was round 3. And now we have 6 stitches. So round 4, we're going to do the same thing. As round 3, we're going to do a single crochet and an increase, but we're going to do it 3 times. So there's our single. We're going to do our increase here. Okay, maybe I need to look around my viewfinder so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we got an increase there. I'm going to do, that was 1. There's our single. Here's our increase. And 1 more time. Our single crochet and an increase. And that was round 4. And we have 9 stitches around. Round 5. Round 5, we're going to do 2 single crochets. So there's 1. Oops, did I go off camera? Sorry about that. And oh, that's 1, 2 single crochets, and then an increase. So there's 1 and 2. And we're going to do that 3 times. So 2 single crochets and then an increase. And 1 more time. 2 single crochets and then an increase. And that was round 5 for 12 stitches. Now guess what? Now we're already decreasing. See how quick this little ear is going? So now we're going to start round 6 In round 6, we're going to do 2 single crochets. Mark that first one. So that's 1 and 2. And we're going to do a decrease. So like we always do, our invisible decreases. And then we're going to do 2 more single crochets. 1 and 2. And then an invisible decrease. Pull up the first loop. Pull up the next first loop. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And we're going to do 2 more single crochets and another decrease, and that is round 6. And now we're back down to 9 stitches. Round 7, we're going to do a single crochet and a decrease 3 times, and we'll end up with 6 stitches. So that was our 1 single. Now we'll do a decrease, and we'll do a single and a decrease, and a single crochet and a decrease, and that is round 7, and that is our first ear. Okay, now we're going to knot this and tie this one off and leave about a 6 or 8 inch tail. And but what I like to do is, because I don't like to leave this very visible difference in the height of these stitches, I like to just go ahead and slip stitch into the next one there. And that kind of brings it back down. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through, cut our little tail, and then pull that through for our little knot here to close that off. And there is our first ear. So go ahead and make your second ear. Pause the video, make your second ear, and we'll be right back. And I'll show you how we join them and continue on. Okay, so I just finished my second ear here. And so we have the first one, we'll get ready to attach them. Let's take the stitch marker out. But the first thing we're going to do is not attach them right away. We're going to go 3 stitches across on this first ear. And the reason for that is because I want the row to start on the edge. So we're going to keep this tail towards the middle. So we're going to go across here, all the way across. So we'll go 3 here, and then we'll attach and do 3 here, 3 more around the back. So that's the 6 stitches. And then we'll continue and we'll do the 3 back here. So we'll connect these and then we'll keep going in the round. So our round here is going to start, starting the head and the body with round 1. We're going to do 3 single crochets across this first ear that we still have the yarn attached. So that starts our round. So we mark that first stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to bring in our second ear. We're going to keep this tail towards the middle. So I'm going to go into this first stitch right after where we knotted it. Right here. Pull pull up my working yarn. So we're just going to do a single crochet. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's our first single crochet on this ear, and that is stitch number 4. And we're going to go around 5, 6, turning, 7, 8, and 9. Here's our one that we did that little slip stitch. And then we're going to do 3 more on this ear. Right, here's our first free one. Get out the way, stitch mucka. And that is round 1 for the head to the body, connecting the ears. See, that's not so bad. We should have 12 stitches around. We have 12 stitches. And this first one is right here on this very end. Now we can go ahead and let's pull up a loop here so we don't come unraveled. We're going to go ahead and thread this yarn right here and close up that little hole while we still have easy access to it. You can see between the ears there's this gap right here, and we can just put a few little whip stitches in there. Kind of bring that little, close up that little hole right there. 1 or 2. I just pulled my needle out, the thread, so now I gotta put it back on. I think that's already closed up with just 2 little whip stitches. So I'm gonna go ahead and, well, I'm gonna go ahead and make a knot there. I left my little tail too long. I didn't have a loop to go back in. Go through there. Make that little snug. Okay, we're done with that. And we're gonna stick this tail in here to get it out of our way. I guess you could stick it in one ear or the other, but I always feel like, well, it's not fair if they don't get equal amounts of the tail. One must be fair. Okay. Now we're here on this side of the bunny, and we're going to go ahead and go to round 2. And right away we start off with an increase. So all our increases and or decreases will be done on the sides of the body. So we're going to go ahead and do an increase right here. 1 and 2. Mark that first one. There's my my increase with the 2 stitches, and 5 single crochets. We're going to do 5 across here, and then we're going to do another increase on this end. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to do an increase because we're on this side of the body and the head. And then we are going to do 5 more single crochets back down to the end. 3, 4, and 5. And that is round 2, and we have 14 stitches. Now we're moving on to round 3. We're going to start off with our increase again. So that's 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Mark that first one. And we're going to do 6 single crochets. Now we'll do another increase. And 6 more single crochets. And that is the end of round 3 with 16 single crochets. 16 stitches. Okay, round 4, we're going to do our increase. And we'll do 7 single crochets across. And we'll do another increase and 7 more singles. And that is the end of round 4 with 18 stitches. Okay, so now we're on round 5. Round 5, we're going to start off with 1 single crochet, and I just will point out the reasoning for that is if you flatten this out and you fold it in half, you see that our first stitch is not here on the end. It's in the back now. So we will do our first single crochet there, and then we'll do an increase. Just trying to keep the increases and decreases on the sides. It helps with shaping and all that jazz. So we'll do, we're actually not doing an increase now. Now we're doing a decrease. So we did our 1 single crochet and we're going to do a decrease. So we'll do our invisible decrease here. Grab those 2 front loops. And then we're going to do 7 singles across to the other side. And then we're going to do another decrease. And 6 singles. See, we did 1 in the front, and now we're doing 6, so it's still 7 and 7. If that makes sense. That makes sense in my brain. We got 1 and 6, and we have 7. Okay, so that's the end of round 5, and we still have, we went down because we decreased, so we have 16 single crochets. Round 6 also starts off with 1 single crochet. Okay, come on now. Cooperate, please. We got 1 single crochet and a decrease. And now we are going to do 6 single crochets across. And we will do a decrease. And now we should have 5 singles left on this round. For a total of 14 stitches. Round 6. Okay, now we're to a point where if you're going to be using safety eyes, now is the time to put them in. And so we stopped right here at the end of round 6. And this is the back of your project. And the only reason that it is the back is because that's where the tail will be placed, because it is part of the pattern. But otherwise, it could be the back or the front because they're the same. So since this is the back, we'll count this as the front. So the eyes, of course you could put your eyes anywhere you like, but this is where I think is a good placement, is if you come between rounds 3 and 4 of the head. So this is the 3, this is 1, 2, 3, and that's 4. So somewhere around here, we're going to put one eye, and then I think they look good kind of close together. Like only leave this one stitch here in the middle, separating them, and put one right there next to it. Let's see if I have those placed okay. I think I need to come over here just a little bit, but not too far. We'll have to see if that's placed good. I think that looks pretty good. Pretty good placement. So that's 1, 2, 3. So between rows 3 and 4, about 1 stitch apart. And now I'm looking at these eyes because when I see other people use them, they have these little dots on the bottom. And I always tend to want to turn them up and have those up there like that. Which way do you think they go? I don't know. Maybe they do look kind of cuter at the bottom. Anyway, so if you're using safety eyes, now would be a good time to go ahead and put those in. I'm not going to put the backs on these because I'm going to probably do some embroidered eyes on this one. So I'm just going to leave these off for now. But this is where you put your eyes if you are going to use safety eyes. So as far as eyes go, you can use your little safety eyes and embroider the nose, or you can use safety eyes and a safety nose. So if you're going to do that, go ahead and put the nose in right now. Also, just 1 stitch down from the eyes. But if you're going to embroider your eyes or crochet them, then you can wait and do that after you are done making it. After you sew it up, then you can put the eyes on. Okay, so round 7, we are going to do 1 single crochet. Since we are still here towards the back of the body, we're going to do 1 single, a decrease, and then 5 singles, and then a decrease, and then 4 singles. So there's our 1. Now let's go ahead and get our decrease. And 5. And a decrease. And 4. And that is the end of round 7. 12 single crochets. Now here in the pattern I have written stuff as you go. So let's go ahead and put a little stuffing in this head before it gets to be where it's a little harder to reach that spot. I think you probably can just about wait until the very last round of this bunny to stuff, but we'll just go ahead and do a little bit now. There we go. Okay, here we are at round 8, and we're making the arms on this round. And it'll be easy peasy, don't worry. We got this. If you made any of my other leggy critters, the froggy or the heart, it's the same arms. It's the same arms. So round 8 begins with 1 single crochet because we're still kind of in the back here. Here we are. We're going to make our arm. We did our 1 single crochet, so our arm is 13 chains. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and now we're going to make our 3 double crochet cluster in the 3rd chain from the hook. So yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Pull through 2. When we have 4 loops on our hook, and we did our 3 double crochet clusters, plus we have our 1 chain beginning, we yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, and then we insert our hook into the same stitch and slip stitch. Now we're going to slip stitch back down this arm 10 times to get back down to the body. And that's our last one there. Now that we made our arm, our cute little arm with our little nubby hand at the end, we are going to do 6 single crochets to get back to the other side of the body to make our second arm. think I'm picking up some of that stuffing. So I did 6 singles, and we're back down to this side of our bunny body, and we'll make our second arm by chaining 13. And third chain from the hook, we'll do our 3 double crochet cluster. Four loops on the hook and yarn over and pull through and slip stitch back down into that same stitch. And we'll do, sorry, grabbing more yarn, 10 slip stitches back down the arm. I can't see in my screen. Did I do that? Nope. I missed it. There we go. Now we did our back down the arm, and then we're going to do 5 single crochets back to our starting point. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is the end of round 8, our arm round, and we should still have 12 stitches. Okay, now we're moving on to round 9, and we will be doing some increases this round. And as you can see, we have 1 stitch, and then we have our arm. Now the arm's stitch is actually on the other side right here. So we will be doing an increase in this first stitch right here. This is not a stitch, this is part of the arm. The stitch for the arm is on the other side right there. So let me take this out and let's do this. So we'll be doing an increase right here in our next stitch, and then we will be doing an increase right here on this side of the arm, right there. Okay, and we will keep the arm down here flat towards the body. Keep it out of our way because we want to work across under the arm. Here's the rabbit, so we're working under the arm. And we'll keep that out of our way. So this first one is an increase. That's our first increase. Put this back in that first stitch of the increase. So we have 2 stitches here. And then we're going to come over here to this side of the arm. We're going to do our second increase right here. So that's 1 and 2. And then the pattern says to, I lost my place. We're going to do 4 single crochets to the other side. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now here we are at the other arm. We'll do our increase right here. Now, I think this works better. Right here, this stitch here. And we'll do our second increase for this arm right here on this side of the arm. So let's go ahead and do that. One and 2, and that one increase. It's our second increase for this arm. 1 and 2. And then we'll do 4 singles back down to the beginning. And that is the end of round 9, our increase round under the arms. Okay, round 10 is also going to have 4 increases. So we're going to start with 1 single crochet because we are moving further into the back of the body. It's just the way crochet is. It's not straight up and down when you crochet in the round. Okay, so we just have to account for that. So we got our 1 single. That's the start of our, whoops. There we go. That's the start of our round 10, 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do an increase in this stitch and an increase in this stitch. So that's 1 and 2 in that one. 1 and 2 in that one, and then we're going to do 6 single crochets. And then we're going to do 2 more increases. So we got 2 in that one, and 2 in this one. And then we'll end this round with 5 singles. And that is the end of round 10 with 20 stitches. Okay, round 11, we're going to start off with 4 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to do an increase. Oops. Put 2 there. And we're going to do 9 singles across to the other side. And then we're going to do another increase. And then we should have 5 single crochets to finish out this round with 22 stitches. Round 12. Round 12 is going to be 5 single crochets. And then we'll have an increase. And then we're going to do 10 singles across to the other side. And another increase. And we'll finish out this round with 5 single crochets. And that is the end of round 12 with 24 stitches. Okay, we're at round 13. I'll go ahead and put a little bit more stuffing in here since it's looking pretty hollow. Just put a little bit there, kind of fill in that neck area. There we go. So round 13 is 5 singles. Let's get that first one in, put our stitch marker back. So that was 1, 2. Then an increase. 1 and 2. And then we'll do 11 singles. And then we'll do another increase. And this round will end with 6 single crochets. There we go. And 26 stitches in round 13. Round 14, we start off with 6 single crochets. So there's 1, 4, 5, 6. And then an increase. Then we'll do 12 singles. And then an increase. And then 6 single crochets. Sorry, I hit the camera. And that is round 14, and we end round 14 with 28 stitches. Round 15 is just a round of straight single crochets. So we will do 28 singles for round 15. So that's the end of round 15 with 28 single crochets. Okay, so here we are round 16, and this is when we'll be adding the tail. And as you can see, we are at the exact middle on the back of the bunny to add the tail. Well, let me not hold it upside down to confuse you. So there's the back of the bunny. This is where we're at. And that is why I told you when we did the eyes that they went on this side, right? The eyes went on this side. Oops. Of the bunny. I guess I should have just went ahead and put these on, but I like crocheted embroidered eyes so much better. So so your eyes, if you use safety eyes, they went on this side of the bunny because that is the front and this is the back where the tail is going to be. So, not that I needed to put those in, but let's go ahead and get ready to do the tail round. Okay, so round 16, we're going to start off by doing our tail, and that is a popcorn stitch. It consists of 5 double crochets, so we yarn over and we do 5 double crochets in this one stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull up a little loop here. Now we're going to go back into that first double crochet. So let's count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. And we're going to put our loop back on, pull through, and chain. And that is our popcorn stitch. That's what makes the little tail in the back. Now here's our next stitch right here. So we'll be doing 27 singles, 27 single crochets. So we have our popcorn and 27 single crochets around, and that will be still 28 stitches. Don't forget that last one right there. There we go. And that is round 16 with our tail, 28 stitches. Okay, moving on to round 17, and we're gonna start, we're gonna do a couple of decrease rounds, and then we'll finish off with the legs and closing. So our first stitch right here is that popcorn stitch. So that's one. Can use our stitch marker now. We really didn't need it on the popcorn round. We could see which one was first. So we're going to do 6 singles. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do a decrease. Then we're going to do 12 singles to the other side. And that was 12, and we're going to do another decrease here on this side of the bunny, and then we'll finish off with 6 single crochets. And that was round 17, and we should have 26 stitches. Round 18, another decrease round. We'll start off with 6 single crochets. And we'll do a decrease. And we'll do 11. Was that 3? And we'll do another decrease, and we'll finish off with 5 single crochets. And that was round 18 for 24 stitches. Here we are, we're at the very end, round 19. We're going to be making our legs and closing off at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and make this first leg before I finish stuffing, because we got plenty of room here. So let's go ahead. It says to do 7 single crochets. I took my stitch marker out. I will no longer be needing it. We need to crochet. We need to be able to get to the side. So we're going to do 7 single crochets. And now we should be right here on the side of the bunny. Like if we were to flatten this out, we should be right here on the side. If for some reason if for some reason, like say your tail wasn't in the middle when it was time to make it, I suggest to just either frog back to where you need to be or put another stitch or two to where you need to be right in the middle for your tail. And if for some reason you're not exactly on the side to make your leg, do the same. I mean, if your stitch count is off a little, or if maybe for whatever reason it's not there on the side, just crochet over there or frog back, whatever you need to do to be on the side. Hey, you know, it's just a little plushy amigurumi toy. Just make it happen. Does not need to be perfect. So we're going to go ahead and make our first leg now. So we did 7 single crochets that got us to the side. Now we're going to make our leg, which is chain 16. I'm going to set this down and pull some of my yarn here for a second. Okay, we chained 16, and that's just 3 more than the arm. So make the legs just a little bit longer than the arms. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a 3 double crochet cluster in the 3rd chain from the hook. Four chains on the hook, 4 loops, and yarn over and pull through, and slip stitch back down. Now we'll slip back down the leg, back to the body. There should be 13 slip stitches. Okay, now that we slip back down the leg, I'm going to go ahead and add some more stuffing in here. Now I don't suggest stuffing it where the body is round. I like to manipulate the stuffing, like I'm spreading it out to the sides, and I'm squishing the doll. I guess in fact it is more like a rag doll, isn't it? I'm squishing it kind of flat, and it comes out on the sides. We don't want like a big round body, we just want like a flat rag doll style. That's why we did increases and decreases only on the sides. Okay. Now, I think that's good enough. It doesn't require a whole lot of stuffing unless you want it packed real firm. Okay. Let's put our hook back in. Now we're going to slip stitch across the body. We're going to squeeze this closed and get my stuffings in there. Good. We'll squeeze the body closed like this, and we'll slip stitch both sides together all the way across until we have 1 stitch, 1 or 2 stitches left at the end, and then we'll make our leg, and then we'll slip stitch that last one closed. So I gotta put my eyeballs on this. There we go. I'm gonna slip stitch. This one gets a little tricky to get into that one from the leg. Now, let's see, what do I have written on the pattern here to slip stitch? 10 times, I think. 10 slip stitches. But hey, if you do 11, if you do 9, whatever, you're slip stitching the body closed. And you're keeping it closed like this, you know, and it will make that other leg. You want to keep this pulled kind of tight because, well, you don't want any gaps here with any stuffings coming out or anything like that. So keep this slip stitching kind of tight. Maybe I'm pulling it too tight because I am struggling because I'm trying to pull it too tight. I think I'm gonna do, well, I got this on the end. Look what I have left here. 1, 2, maybe 3 stitches left. I'm gonna go ahead and make my second leg now. So I'm gonna chain 16. And I'm gonna do my third chain from the hook. I'm gonna do my 3 double crochet cluster. Yarn over and pull through and slip stitch back down in the same stitch. And I'm going to slip stitch back down 13, back down the leg. And then I'm going to slip stitch this last little bit, this last stitch right here. I'm going to yarn over, give myself about a 12-inch tail, and pull that through. And let's go ahead and weave in that end. Thread the yarn onto your needle. Now, if you're worried about anything poking out right here, like I think I still had a loop left that I didn't grab for slip stitching, I'm just going to go right over that like this so I can just snug that down. I'm going to come right back out on this side. You see how that just pulled that back in? Pulled in that little hip. Now I'm going to go into that one because I saw a little loosey-goosey stitch from that leg. I wanted to make sure was tacked down good. And we are good to go. I'm going to go back in one more time. And I this off now. And that is our bunny that we just made from the tutorial. You can yank these little arms and legs and try to make them behave. But there we go. Okay, I kind of just stuck these little eyes in here to show you good placement for your nose, your T nose. It looks like a capital T. You can come across here and down here. So I like to go in the middle of the eyes. I go in one side and out the other, and this will be about in the middle of the eyes. You can make it a little shorter if you want to. Leave about a 4-inch tail. Yeah, we threaded our little 12-inch piece of black yarn onto our needle. So I went across here. I'm going to go back into this same hole this one came out of, and I'm going to come out one stitch down here. So I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to come out. Maybe I'll go, nope, that's too, maybe like right there. So you want to be in the middle. Let's pull that through. And this is going to pull our top part down. So now we have the top part of our little nose, and this is the middle that's going to go up and form that little T. The little nose, mouth area, cheeks, whatever. So we're going to go back into the middle of this top row and come back out this same hole right here. Okay. I'm going to go right there. Uh-oh, I'm wrapped around a leg down here. And I'm going to come back out this same hole that this is in, right there. Let's see how that looks. Okay, let's take our little needle and we're going to go under these stitches to fluff them out, make sure it looks all right. This one looks like it came up a little high. There we go. I think that looks good. That's cute. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut the excess off of here because I always have too long of a piece of yarn, but better to have too long than too short. Yeah, so we're gonna tie a little knot right here on this corner. Why? Because I like to tie knots. I'm full of them. Okay. And we will thread this back on here. And we're going to go back down into that same hole. And we're going to push that through to the other side of the body out here. Give that a little tug. And that knot went in. But you say, yeah, but it pulled that out. Well, we just stick our needle under there. We fluff our little nose back out. It'll be fine. And there we go. There's our little T nose. Sometimes you have to work, you have to figure out good placement with embroidering on blanket yarn. It doesn't always work out the best, or yeah, you know, because this is a big thick yarn, so you got to find good placement to see how your stitches are going to work out. So there we go. There's our little embroidered nose. We flip him back over. You give this a little tug and you snip it, and that pops right back in there, and we are done. So I grabbed this bunny just to show you that these are safety eyes and this is a safety nose. So that's another alternative you can do for the nose. And I thought I'd thread up this little piece of pink yarn I have here and show you how to do some cheeks. I don't know how well it's gonna work on this one. Yeah, I might be able to. So we want to go in on this side of this eye and we're going to come out on this side of this eye, right here under the eyes. This is where we want our blush, right here, like under the eyes, where the apples of your cheeks are. So let's see, we're going to go in right here. Sometimes you want to over exaggerate. Okay, I'm going to go in right here. I'm going to go, because if I go in right here, it's not going to be on this side. I think I'm going to go in right here, and I'm going to come out right here on this side of this eye. So I'm going a little wide. With blanket yarn, it's very hard to embroider on because the stitches, well, and these stitches are like really big and loose on this one, so just want to make sure I have enough pink up there to look cute like. So we're going to go back in on this side of this eye and we're going to come out on this side of this eye. So we're going to go in right here. I'm going to turn this sideways so I can do this better. I need to manipulate this needle. There we go. So I'm going to go in there, come out there. Let's see how this looks. That's a cute little blush there. And now what we do here to make this one go under this eye, this is that yarn that sheds. I'm going to tie a little knot right here, close to this, where this hole is right here. So we're going to tie a little knot. Right there. And I'm going to thread these in one at a time. So I'm going to go back into that same hole and I'm going to go straight out the back. Oh, look. I took pictures of how to embroider a nose on this side. If you have the written pattern, this is the one with the pictures. How to embroider a nose. And let's see, I'm going to thread this one now. Yes, this is that Loops and Threads Chenille Home Slim, and there's another name that shreds on the ends. Anyway, so I'm going to go back in that same hole and out through the back. Now we're going to turn it over and we're going to trim those ends. And I need to cut that little nose off. I can cut that little nose off and get it out of there in no time. But that is the back. Ooh, we got little fluffies everywhere. And then we come back here and we stick our needle under here and just fluff up our little cheeks. Fluff them back up. I think that looks cute. I coulda made it come over just a little bit. But that is cute. I think that's cute. Do you like the little cheeks or not? Just something a little extra that you can add to it also if you wanted. So, how did it come out? Did you make one? Is it so cute? I would love to see it. Did you use safety eyes and a nose, or did you embroider some eyes maybe, or use crochet eyes? I would love to see what you decided on, what colors you chose, what type of yarn you used, what hook size worked best for you. Anyway, don't forget to tag me if you post on Instagram or Facebook. and those links will be down below. Also, the Etsy's link down below, and well, you're on the YouTubes. So thank y'all so much for sticking around for this tutorial. I hope you have the cutest little bunnies for Easter or any time of the year, and I'll see you next time. Be blessed. Bye.